John Redwood.
Mr. Speaker, this debate is about the future of democracy itself. There can be no more important issue. We are considering today a draft treaty which would presume to take substantial powers of decision over how much a country can spend, how much a country can tax, and how much a country can borrow from the democratic choices of the member state to a centrally imposed system which they hope will make the euro work better. This matter is of vital importance to the United Kingdom, both because, of course, we wish our neighbours to be able to live in democratic prosperity for their own sakes, both because we wish to trade with them successfully, and because we wish to make sure that there is no danger whatsoever that our cherished freedoms and independence, as a member that has deliberately kept out of the euro, could be in any way damaged by this treaty, which presumes to use European Union institutions to enforce a non-European institution will. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the peoples of Western Europe are right to be mightily worried about the bad state of health of their respective democracies where they have adopted the euro. We see dreadful scenes daily on our televisions or hear reported on our radios from Greece and from Spain and from Italy. These countries are struggling with the common economic discipline and policy being imposed today. The German-led new treaty says that it is not strong enough, that discipline, that there needs to be more mutually assured deflation. There needs to be a madness imposed upon these countries to try and see if the euro will work. Now, I know my right honourable friends on the front bench are rightly saying that they must not say anything in public or be seen to do anything in public which makes the difficulties of the euro area worse. I fully endorse that. I would say they should never normally comment on the euro. It is too dangerous, it is too difficult, and it is up to those in the euro to say what they wish about how their currency is developing. But it is a matter of grave interest to us how this develops. And so I urge my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, in private, when he is round the table, he will be there with all the other leaders, with the right to a view, to speak truth to their impotence. He should say to those assembled leaders, struggling to get a grip on their recalcitrant economies, struggling to get some kind of stability into their very unstable currency, that this is not working. And he should tell them in truth that this treaty before us this afternoon cannot conceivably make the euro work. There are other things which can help ease the pain of the euro. There are many other policies we could discuss in another debate which could pull off the trick of getting many countries through and the euro out of the other side. But this treaty is not the way of doing it. It is deeply offensive to many democratic peoples in the countries of Western Europe that will face it. It is reinforcing a German view of how to make the economies of Western Europe work, which very clearly is not working. If part of the medicine for a country that has borrowed too much is to spend less in the public sector and to borrow less in the public sector, and that can be the right approach, I can think of countries where that could apply, at the same time, a series of policies have to be adopted to promote growth in the private sector so that there is some hope, so that there are some new jobs, so that there could be new tax revenue coming in. Where they are proposing tax rises, they need tax reductions on enterprise, business and success. Where they are proposing a bigger monetary straitjacket, they need monetary ease. But they've now got to the position, Mr. Deputy Speaker, where they are creating a very big monetary ease across the Eurozone as a whole by tipping literally trillions of printed money into the system to try and make it work. But that new money cannot possibly help Greece or Portugal because they have frozen and damaged banks, because they are under the austerity cosh, because the representatives of the European Union are going in and treating them as if they are some kind of damaged economy that cannot conceivably pull through. The Euro scheme now is damaging the confidence that Greece and Portugal need to see light at the end of the tunnel. It is putting people off going to invest there. Why would someone go to Greece to invest through euros if they think Greece may be driven out of the currency and forced into a big devaluation? Why would they go to Greece and seek to do business when the banks are frozen and they are not benefiting from the liquidity injection which is helping the corporate bond market and the government bond market now temporarily in Italy and in Spain. But, Mr. Deputy Speaker, above all, our Prime Minister has to secure and protect the British interest. And we in this House should be very proud of what our predecessors created, obtaining control over how much is raised in taxation, over how much is spent, and how much this country borrows and prints. We are rightly out of the euro, because if you are in it, you cannot conceivably maintain democratic control over those issues. But we are worried, and I'm grateful to my honourable friend for raising this issue today before the summit, that inadvertently, I'm sure, the government can get us dragged in to much greater supervision of our economy by the European Union in a way which would sign us up to these very mad policies which we are rightly warning them cannot conceivably work. Mr. Deputy Speaker, Europe is at risk. Jobs are being destroyed. Economies are being gravely damaged. The people are on the streets. The main political parties in these European countries are signing up to exactly the same policy, so even where they get a general election, the popular will is thwarted, the people do not have a proper choice if they stick to the main parties. In one or two countries now, we even have governments being changed by the European elite without a single vote being cast, without the democratic view of the people and their parties being consulted. Surely, Mr. Deputy Speaker, everyone in this House is ashamed of that. Surely we all unite in saying the thing that brings us together is our belief in the power of the ballot box, the voice of the elected representative, the right of people to choice, the right of people to say a policy is failing. We are told by the European establishment that only their policy can work, but there is no evidence whatsoever that this policy is working, and massive evidence of the damage it is doing.
We've still got